Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So it's been long since I created a video, so I'm coming back with a new kind of a video, which is kind of like under the Visual Basic programming language. So right here we have a question, right? Write a console program to create a structure called city, which has the following variables: the name, population, diameter, and the year. Then the program should capture the above details and display them. So first of all, we want to deal with this part first, right? Want to create a structure. So in our Visual Studio application, so what you have to do is either you click where it says file, and then enter new, then you click where it says project, right? Yeah. So under project, so this one will form up. So either you want to rename or just continue from this part. You can either rename and say structure program and select where it says console application, then click where it says okay. Okay, now in the program, right? I think this is much visible to on your side. If not, let me just try to change the font size so that it can be visible on a mobile phone. So this one is going to be a long video, so forgive me about that because I'm just trying to do it nicely. So on our phone, let me just try to increase it up to let's say 14 and click OK. Font size into 14. Let me wait for my machine to respond. It's kind of like a slow computer, but when we are into programming now, it will be flowing. So now we want to create what our structure, right? So we either have to create on this space provided here under module 1, right? So we have to say public. So we're going to create a public one also because we want it to be accessible within our program. So we say public structure, then we are going to name our structure called city, then we're going to create the following, right? Public, okay, we're going to capture name, right? Is it name or names? A name, all right? So we're going to create a variable called name, which is going to store a string, a data type called under the data type string. So now I'm going to create other variables, right? So the variable population, for now we are just going to be storing it as an integer. So integer, right? Then enter this one. Now we're going to look at year. Call it our variable name is called year. Then I'm going to say as integer, right? Just like that. The same as the last one, which is going to store our diameter for the what? As an integer. So this is the part where we've completed creating a structure which is going to capture everything, right? Yeah. So we just have created this whole part. Now we want our program to capture, this is the interesting part, capture the above details, right? So we're going to be dealing with capturing the details first. So what we need to do, right, within our submain, right? Maybe if they are C++, but everything which we do it under main, right? So we're going to do this. Okay, so we're going to say console. Why are we going to say console? Because we want to write something to the console screen. That black screen is called the console. It's kind of called the console application, kind of like that. CMD. All right. So we're going to say write. What are we going to write to the black screen, to that CMD thing? We want to say okay, enter city name, right? Then we close our quotes and we go to the next line, and we want to ask another thing. Okay, we can just capture at the same time, but we want to print out some statement to the screen, right, so that we can see. Okay, so I'm going to say console right. We're going to say okay, city population, just like this. Then I'll put a space. Okay, the same here, I'm going to put a space here. Okay, so under this one now we're going to repeat the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to say we want to enter the city here, city here, just like this. After this part, we want to print out to the screen that, okay, dude, what you need to do, right? You the user, please enter the what, the city diameter, of which I don't know how the diameter of the cities which I'm going to enter, but that is what is required, right? So if we run this program, right, it's going to show us, it's just these lines of this statement which has no order. So let me wait for it to load. Okay, I'm waiting for it. Okay, maybe it have run because we are not seeing anything. So since it have run and we did not see it, so what we need to do, right? Okay, before we end this sub, right, we need to create what we call a console read key, so that it can just pause, right? yeah, I think that's what I want to try to say. Okay, as you can see, it will say enter city name, city population, but now we want to accept, okay, the data from the user, right? So in order to accept data from the user, right, we want to use we want to access the string which we have declared here, right? To access it, right, we need to create an object, right, for that type, for that structure city, right? How do we create? So we just say okay, dim, right, let's call our object, let's say, how can we call it? Okay, let's just give it a b. Is our the object name is called b, and we are going to store it as a structure city, right? Okay, now we want to access everything here in this structure city. For us to be able to access everything in the structure city, we will use what we say, I think that's the top operator, the same which we've been using in C++. So we're going to say the name of our object, right? Then put a dot. Then we are going to be able to access everything. As you can see, we are able to access the name. If your program does not show this preview, that means you're just doing something wrong, right? If you have any question, just ask in the comment section or contact me on WhatsApp. So now, okay, we want to capture the information from the console and enter it within this variable name under our object. Yeah, so we're going to say, okay, b, which is our object name, dot name is equal to console. Yes, we are going to use a console again. So now on our console, right, we want to read line, right? Read the line of text the person is entering. Then you put these quotes, right? Yeah. On the next line, okay, I can just copy the whole thing so that it won't be repetitive, right? Just like this. Okay. Then on the next line, we want to accept a population. So we are going to say b dot pop. As you can see, it will automatically suggest for you, and that will mean you are doing something correct. Then on the next line, we are going to be looking for a way to accept the year of the city. So we're going to say, okay, b is equals to year, just like this. You just press the tab button, then you're going to click paste the whole thing like this. Then on the next one, we are going to accept information for the diameter. So we're going to say b dot operator. We want to access the diameter, which is under our structure. Then we're going to click it, paste this code, and voila. So now let's just run our small program before we go further to displaying the information. So our city is called Mbonis. This city population contains the one whatever this number is. Then the city was created in the year 1820, but then the diameter of the city is so huge that it can contain up to 500, let's say 500 hectares or 500 square meters, 500 square kilometers, I don't know. And you enter, nothing will happen, right? Because we need to program the part where we're going to accept where we're going to display information to the screen, right? So next, after this, we're going to okay on this part. Okay, on this part, right, what we need to do is want to display information which we have stored within these variables to the screen. So what I can do, right, so I can just start by saying, okay, console, okay, right line. Why am I saying right line? Because after each have printed something to the screen, right, it's going to go to the next line, yeah, so that our program will just show up nicely. But then within these brackets, we have to say, okay, city name, just like this, right, just like it, put a space for us to be able to access the city name. What do we think we should do? What do you think we should do? Okay, if you do not know, so we're going to put this end sign. Is it called an ampersand sign? But that end sign, just know we just have to put this one. Then you're saying, well, okay, our object which we created called B, we want to access the values within the name which have been stored, just like this, right? As you can see, there's no error, so we'll go to the next line. So I'm just going to copy the whole thing here so that I do not repeat the same thing. Then I'm going to put, okay, now we want to city what population. Is it the spelling? But it doesn't matter. Okay, just like this. Then we're going to put this end sign. Then we're going to say b dot what population, so that it can display the value, the contents within population, just like this. Okay, on the next line, we're going to put this code, then using Control V. Then I'm going to say, okay, display something called the city year, right? Just like this. Then on this side, we just do the same thing, b dot, okay, year, exactly. Then we'll go to the next line and we'll continue doing that until we have everything on the screen. So, right. What I need to do, right, is say city diameter. Then we're going to put a space. Then we're going to put this end sign. Then we're going to access the information within the object B under the structure city. Yeah, just like that. Diameter. Okay, so with this short code, we'll be able to display information to the screen, right? So let's just run and check if there's any errors. Okay, would you like to continue to run? No. So there is an error because we left what you call next year must be preceded by using a for loop. So since we are not using a for loop, let's remove next. Let's try to run our code again. So I'm going to enter the city name code, okay, Mbonis, right? Then our city population contains this number of people. Then the year of the city is called 1823. Then our diameter is whatever we put. Then it's going to display it below here. But this is not, yes, we did successfully answer our question, but this is not even nice. It doesn't, it's not even representing it good. So what we need to do, right, we need to put a kind of like a space between the diameter and the city name. So we are going to say, okay, this part one, we are displaying a city details, right? So we're going to use the same thing, console, right? And we're going to write something to the screen, right line, right? Okay, this one should be an empty one. Then we're going to do the same thing again, console, okay, right line. Okay, what's the spelling of right line? Just like this, put this quote, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, display a city details. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. Okay, I need to copy this same thing again so that each have to create some more spaces because this one is not doing good. Okay, This is not necessary though, but for me I just want it to look nicely. So the population, whatever I put, so that we'll see if the program runs. As you can see, displaying city details and everything is displayed on the screen. So, but this is how you just create the program under the Visual Basic programming language using this console application, so that we can use structures to store details, maybe for students, for cities, or whatever you want. So this is how we do it, right? So cheers, bye for now, see you in the next video. So in the next video we're going to try to manipulate everything here so that it can capture information for more than let's say for just 5 cities, right? Yeah, so that's what we're going to do in the next video. Bye for now. If this video was helpful for you guys, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, so that it's a token of appreciation. Yeah, cheers, bye for now. Bonis signing out.